Hi, it's Kelsey from Junk Journal Magic. I am about to do a little fun kind of smushing, maybe compiling some tags or whatnot. I just thought I would get started. Teal and Tattered is back on her channel. I always get inspired watching her. If you don't know anything about Martina, you can go check out her channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. But her stuff, I just love her stuff. And right now what she's doing is floral for like spring or summer. But that's okay. If it inspires me, good. She calls it art therapy. And so maybe I'm going to just call this art therapy just to try to like have some fun instead of trying to get something done that needs to be done. But I am going to smush color some of these die cut leaves from the Tim Holtz Sizzix Thinlits set of leaves. It's 665559, the code. These aren't that old. I'm sure everyone's seen them and probably has them. So, hey, you can do this too. But I thought I would play with this a little bit and dye some leaves. Then stain some of my master boards that I made in that old pamphlet flyer thing that came in the mail. Because who wants that? I also need to find my water. I just found it. So I am going to be using, just for the heck of it, because I have all these bottles of spray stain, instead of actually using the ink pads or the oxide pads, I'm going to use Rusty Hinge and tea dye. I like orange, and this is just the season for some orange leaves and pumpkins, so why not? Anyway, I'm just going to put a little Rusty Hinge down. Actually, I probably should have done tea dye first. Oh well, what does it matter? What does it matter? This isn't like I'm trying to make some watercolor masterpiece. Anyway, hopefully that diluted it a little. And, well, I guess I don't have to have the tweezers. Ooh, that's actually a really good color. Ooh, these are going to take a while to dry because I didn't prepare and get my heat gun. But hey, this is fine. I'm going to stick it down here on a piece of paper. And as long as the cats don't come in, I'm good to go. I've already got it all over me. But yeah, Martina had some really nice vlogs this past week. I was like, man, I've got to do that. I've got to do something. I want to do something really fun and exciting. And I guess I'm just tired of October, you know. But once these dry, I'm going to use some, why can't I think of what it's called? Embossing powder. I'm going to use some embossing powder and just have some fun with that and make these kind of shiny. I'm going to wait on that and add some of this other tea dye to it. And once they're dry, I'll also put some of this old paper oxide spray on it, because that makes it have these kind of watermark spots that there's different colors to them, because the oxides, all the oxide stuff, and I've heard this about gouache, that they contain an acrylic component. And so when you get it wet, different things settle out at different times. Isn't that awesome? That's a nice nerdy fact. Oh, I wasn't going to do the whole leaf. But hey, no biggie. I'll try this one. Yeah, fingers are better until you have to use the tweezers. So we'll leave that there until I use the tea dye. This should give a couple different tones to the leaves, so they look like the old grungy dead leaves. I think I had one sitting over here somewhere in my mess, and of course I don't see it. Oh wait, I made some already. But once you get that embossing powder on there and you hit it with the heat gun, you get that kind of wet leaf look down in the gutter. Where I used to live, I used to walk all the time, And I loved it in the fall when you get out there with the leaves. Go walking. And they look like this because they've been laying in the gutter with the leftover moisture from whenever it rained. So, okay, maybe I should wipe that off. Oh, so, well, how about if I do this? Where's the water? Because then nothing will go to waste. Just start with one of these master boards. Just see what happens. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like that. But I want it wetter. And I'm only using a piece of wax paper because I had all this wax paper, rolls and rolls in a drawer. We moved, I found it all, and it's down in my, we'll call it roll of things for the kitchen drawer with the aluminum foil and saran wrap and everything. And I had so many, I was like, I'm going to put this in the craft room and see if I can find something to do with all this wax paper. That's not very dark, but I'll just set it aside and we'll move on to tea dye. Oh no. Okay, well, we'll do it this way. And it looks like it's gone a little green. That's okay. We're dealing with leaves. Autumn leaves have that color. I bet you I put it in here and maybe added water to spray it onto something. And over time, it somehow broke down that color and turned it green, which is fine because I'm about to put it on this leaf. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then I'll come back. I'll find something else to add to it. Don't know, maybe a darker brown. I might have some of that embossing powder that's like a glaze. It's Tim Holtz, and I think it's one of these. I think I have Vintage Photo, actually. I'll try that. But this is just fun because you get all these cool colors. I'm going to put these down here so they can dry out of the way. And then when I get in there with that embossing powder glaze, ooh, it ought to be cool. So, there's that. And they're all out of the way. So now I'm going to try to add some green to this. Oh, yeah. I hope the duck isn't too green. But that's a good color. Because I'm like all about green. I do like oranges and yellows. I don't know why. So, yeah. Let me try to get some on these over here. Oh, I really like that. Ooh. Now I'm going to be like, how did I make that color? Okay, let me see. I don't want the owl covered up too much. There, that's better. This better tape well because I'm not going to record it again. Oh. Okay, that's some green. And then we'll try this one. I found I like orange and green and yellow. So you get all these trees and the grass. So, you know, here's one of these stamps people used to collect to get rewards for purchases. I can't remember what they're called. There's quite a different variety of those. Quite a few. So anyway, yeah, don't think. Just keep working because then I forget what I'm talking about and I can't remember. But yeah, I like that. Let me see. Maybe, that's a lot of green. Maybe I'll just do this. There's a bunch right there, so I'll just do this. And then nothing goes to waste and it will dry so much faster. Yeah, I like that. I hope it's not too intense when it dries. I don't remember if it dries like regular paint where everything, oh, I need this color, where everything dries lighter. I think that's how it works, or it dries darker. Okay, let's see. Let's put some rusty hinge on here to go with leaves. Oh, yeah. I think maybe a little water on there would help that. Well, it's starting to move. Let's see. That helps. And then maybe some up here. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Let me see. some more down here. It's coming off very intense. But, maybe I need some down in the corner. Oh, I like this. Maybe I will do this. Not too much, but just enough to get that dark drop to move. Yes, I think I like that. Okay. Because you can always add more later. I am putting this on the floor. Okay, let's see. We've got a lot of green going on here, but it doesn't really matter. Because if they mix, that means we'll just get more autumn colors. Okay, this needs a spray or two. I'm going to like tap it down, try to get a little, there, that's better. Get the excess off and back on the wax paper. I'm trying not to get it all over the place, but I am. I'm getting it everywhere. I should have gotten more wax paper. Live and learn. Okay, let's see. Let me try a little more. Oh, yeah. Oh, the butterflies. Okay, I think I'm going to leave. Oh, wait. I want this corner up here a little better. There, that's better. Okay. Down to the paper. And here we're going to go again. Try some, I should have enough on there. I think I need a little bit more orange. Oh yeah, that's better. Now, I was not thinking do autumn, but here I'm doing autumn. I was actually real excited about what Martina made with the flowers. So, but hey, this masterboard lends itself to autumn, so we'll see. Maybe I can pull off something that isn't, I don't know. I'm not feeling sunflowers today. So, yeah, you get a little bit in that corner. Yeah, I think that looks good. Let's see if I can get it to move a little. Oh, maybe up at the top. It's kind of boring right here. Oh, yeah. I want a lot up there, though. That's a picture from a children's book with the ducks. There's a mother and one duckling, but there were quite a few, and I cannot remember the story's name. I remember one of my friends who taught elementary school said, "Oh, that's such and such." Oh, yeah, I don't remember. I just took it apart because I liked the pages. They were this brown and white drawing that you could actually color if it was a page inside a junk journal. So, okay, I think just going to get that moving. And that'll be good for now. I'm going to let that dry. So, we'll come back in a few seconds. Watch that. Had to check. Couldn't tell what was going on. Nobody wants to watch anybody use the heat gun and dry anything. Although no one would ever admit that. That's kind of tacky. But, hey, I'll say it. So, I think we're getting close. And maybe this one needs some on the stem. Yeah. So, let me show you what I did with these others. Oh, I have some short pieces because I didn't measure anything. I just cut my master boards. But I thought I would dab this in there a little to get some more cool color. Maybe we want it wetter. But these I'm not even going to worry about right now. They can go ahead and sit and dry on their own. I just basically wanted to get a little dark brown on there. So that looks good. Maybe I'll get a tiny bit off here into that spot there. Let's do this. That looks good enough to me. I'm going to let these dry. And I think the leaves are out of the way enough for me to show you these other things. Oh, don't I have something here? Yeah, I think so. I have a Kleenex. That won't last long. Okay, so I took the masterboards, all 3 of them, and I sprayed them with some of the old paper spray, just enough to get a little bit of that going. And then I dried them. And after they were dry, I put cream colored cardstock on the back, just glued it with some Fabri-Tac. Didn't get really good around the edges because I sew it all. And here are some of the pieces I cut down, tags, and those 2 that I just showed you with some of the vintage photo ink. But here's one. It's just a base. It's for whatever else I come up with. These leaves especially. But there's one with the tree, some butterflies. You know, they migrate this time of year. And here's some of that tree. The image was like that. And I think those work really well for fall. So what I will do, I won't make you sit here and wait. I will do this and then come back. I'll cut this down, sew it, and then we'll try something else. I think I will go in and dry these and then show you what I do with the, we're going to use Distress Embossing Glaze Rusty Hinge. I do have brick red, so I may use some of each because red's a real good color for leaves this time of year. Okay, the leaves are ready. I dried them enough to where we can move on. I bought this cheap clearance embossing ink pad at Hobby Lobby not long ago. I think it was like 67 cents. I actually bought 2. And all I do is I decide, where I need some color. And then I'm just going to use this Distress Embossing Glaze Fired Brick color. And I don't want it to be like perfectly, I don't want any straight lines in there, so that'll be okay. I might just kind of do this. Let's see. Can you see the shine on there? I'm about to add some, I'm not going to switch colors until I've finished all of these. I want to add some red to some of them. Just to make sure we got lots of color on there. I'm just going to do this actually. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Actually want a little more than that, so I'm going to dip it back in there. See if I can make it a little more intense. Okay, not so much, but I'm going to play with, is it vintage photo? Oh no, it's Rusty Hinge, and that's a pretty strong color, so that should work really well. But I'm going to quickly do these. I'm going to actually pause you guys until I finish. Okay, I just finished with the red, the brick red, and you can see there are some shiny spots and some red tones. So I'm excited about that, and I'm going to add the vintage, Rusty Hinge. I keep thinking it's vintage photo. I'm going to add Rusty Hinge now, and that should help it shine up quite a bit. I'll show you one, and then I will do the rest off camera so you don't have to sit through all that. It's not as red. It's more orange on this side. But I think that's going to work really well. I might go back and add some clear embossing powder over parts, but it's nicer when you have a few areas that aren't shiny, because if they're laying in the gutter, they'll have some shine where there's moisture, but some parts of the leaf will be dry. So that's what I was thinking when I chose to do that particular embossing method. So I will come back when I'm finished. Okay, I'm back. I think I got the leaves shiny enough to where I achieved the look I wanted without using clear embossing powder. But you can see the glinting light. And they're just supposed to look like leaves on the ground when you're out in the fall. So I think I'm going to pause everything for a second and clean all this up and then get back to the tags. Okay, so I'm back. I somewhat cleaned up the mess. Here are the tags. They're different sizes. I went ahead and used the two smaller offcut pieces and made 2 small tags. I have 4, 5, 6 roughly the same size. A couple are narrower because I just eyeballed it when cutting. But those are good tag sizes for journaling. And then there are 2 large ones because, hey, I like big stuff. And here is what I'll call a belly band. It's good enough to work in one of my taller journals. I could cut it in half. I hate to do that now that I've sewn it, but I could go back in and sew at the end of each of those pieces and it'll be fine. But that's what I think I'm going to play with for just a little while. I picked out quite a few little bits and pieces from my bits box. These are stamped bits, and there's all sorts of things in here. I spared you having to sit there while I was going through it because, oh my goodness, there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's just overwhelming. But yeah, I'm just going to put this aside for now because I think I have enough to do a few tags, just because we have a little time. I don't want to have a very long video, and it just seems nicer when you can get through something in a decent amount of time. So I have this piece of paper where I sprayed stuff. You didn't see that part. See, this is that Oxide, the old paper, antique paper, whatever. And here's some of the other inks that kind of bled through the leaves as the leaves were drying. So I'm just going to kind of play along with what Martina did. She took some different papers and tore out some pieces. And the good thing about this is that they already match. So you don't have to worry about, you know, what you use. Everything matches. I think I'm going to tear this down a little bit more. Okay, that's not such a hot tear, but who cares? This is just that packaging paper from Amazon. It comes with every package you get. So I just need a few pieces, maybe 7 or 8. That's tiny, but hey, it'll work. And this rusty color and the green will look really nice with the rest of these colors. She used an index page or 2 when she did hers. I thought that was really cool. So I think I'm going to toss that. I try not to keep too much because I've gotten ahead of everything by stamping all sorts of stamps, which is really nice because I forget I have them. So if you stamp your stuff, you just go on and pull that out. And I always find more down underneath everything. I think I've used the last one of something and then there's 3 more under there. So I say like a little mushroom. There's always more in my box. So it's fun. I'm going to tear this because it has a jagged edge where I cut out something. And I'm just going to have this ready to use it here or there. It's kind of fun. I don't like this straight edge up here, but a lot of this can be tucked under things. I'm going to rip that off because it's not nice. There, that's just some random embossed stuff. Vellum, and it's a vine. Oh, this one's not tearing nicely because of the cut from the embossing. I don't know. We'll see about that one. Anyway, those are just some pieces to use, and I had some music paper. I thought I would tear it. Now there is some tape on here. I might have to cut it where the tape is. So let's see. Yeah, I have to cut that. But it's just enough to add some texture. Oh, why are we cutting when we can tear it? There. And so I'll turn this over and use the back side. I should have used a tearing ruler because I don't like how this looks, but I don't care right now. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to use what I have. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. There's some more pieces. So, okay. I have some different pieces. I don't have any fibers. Oh no, let me get my big jar of fibers. This is just the jar. This is not the over-the-door shoe rack and a few other things with fibers. So I may have to run and get something else. Here's some wool. I can't remember where that came from. I want to say it came, we bought a sheepskin, is that what you call it, in New Zealand at the airport. It was one of our souvenirs from New Zealand. I think I washed it and this came off. That's kind of cool though. I'll just keep it out. Oh, black. No, black is real important when you do collage. So I might keep these out. Let's see what else is in here. Nothing's speaking to me. Maybe I will run over and grab some of the funny fibers that have poofs and all sorts of things on them. Okay, this is what I grabbed. And I grabbed some gold vine. You can pretend that it's the end of the growing season and it's starting to look baked to death and dead. But lucky for me, it's got a nice golden sheen. Yeah, we can pretend. So there, I like that. And this looks good, especially with the leaves. And the gold looks really nice with the leaves too. It's another little shiny thing that will look nice on a tag. So, okay, I've got some random stuff. And I'm just going to, now, Martina staples things. I don't like to staple, so I'm probably not going to staple. You never know. I may just throw in the towel and do it. But, oh, here's a cute little ticket. And here's some more of these top value reward stamps. Huh. Okay. I have some little buttons. Tiny little buttons that might work on something. So, okay. Let's do this. Let's make some clusters. I have this little gold ticket. I'm going to use that. And maybe a little mushroom. And maybe, I really like this fabric. Put a little piece back there. Maybe I could put a little mushroom behind there. Now, I'm a big fan of Artie Mays, who's the master at making tiny collages. Like, I'll call them micro collages. It just blows my mind what she can do. So, I go out of my way to try to do it every time I pick up little things. I don't know why I do that, but it's fun. It's a challenge. We'll call it that, a challenge. Now, that's the wrong color. We need some of this paper. That's what we need. And, oh, yeah, that paper really makes a difference. I think I'm going to just put a little bit of glue behind things. Now, I'm getting to the bottom of my Fabri-Tac, so it just oozes out like crazy when you get that far along. I'm going to try to get this off here without any Fabri-Tac showing that shouldn't be there. Okay, let me see. I do like that. Now, what Artie Mays does is she takes the tiniest little bits and puts them on. And you know, I think I like that. So let me clip this off. You don't need much. And I've got that little poof on there. And it's got all the crazy little hairs from this, I guess, eyelash trim. And that's going to look really cool on there. And in the very end, I'm going to go sew all this stuff. I'll just use a tiny bit of this because I'm trying to use it up. Then I can open a brand new bottle. Go to town once you open a new bottle of that stuff. You don't have to squeeze. You don't have to tip it over somewhere and hope it doesn't ooze out while you're waiting for all the Fabri-Tac to drain to the bottom. Okay, I think that works. Now what I'm going to do is take that little bit of black off. Now, I will sew it like I said, and it'll have another little bit of texture. I might use maybe an orange thread, something that goes with whatever's on all of this stuff. Now, this would look a lot better over here. Yeah, I think I like that. So that may be where that one's going. Okay, there's one. Let's see what else I can do. Make some more clusters. Clusters are fun. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Let's see. I have a big one around here. Nice big tag. Ooh. I could just whittle away at the sides here. I think that's better. More the size I need. And I like this rusty stuff. So maybe, no, that color, the same paper's right there. So I don't like that. But maybe I have another tag where it would work. Oh, this one's a nice one. Oh. I like the duck. I do like the duck. And we could do this. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. It kind of looks like wavy water. And then, what else? I had a bunch of random things. I did have a button, a nice big button I could put somewhere. And then orange thread works. Oh, you know what I forgot? And because I haven't glued anything down, I made these leaves to go back behind here. It was the only reason I suffered through that exercise to make them. But I don't like that one. I need a smaller leaf. I could even put this on the outside. But I'll have to mess with it. But I am going to put a leaf behind each one. Just don't want to forget. Now this is cool. And I could use more black. Now I have black washi. I put this out on my desk so I would not forget to use it. And I went and sewed and didn't put the washi down like I should have done to tack down that one side. But yeah, I have some black washi. I only bought this because I wanted to use it for collage on tags. But I do like this little bit of fabric. It's all frayed. Looks great. Oh, I do like that too. Okay, let me see. Now, before I do anything else, there's some music paper right here. How about we put a little piece of this somewhere? I don't know. I think that's not working because it's too close to this text and it's black and white, which matches this. I don't like that. So, do I have anything else? It's stuck. Oh, I know. I bought these from a shop on Etsy. And I mean, there's like some microscopic little yo-yos. And I wanted to try using one. Oh, yeah. I need to put that somewhere. We'll have to see. because the button wasn't working for me. Let me glue those together. I like how that looks. It's just enough. Ugh. This is just enough to hold everything in place. Then put this right there like that wave, and that's lined up well. Could have a yo-yo right here. I think I need to pull this out a little more for some balance. It's almost like this little strip of black fabric is underlining everything, like it's terraced. So I like that there. And I'm going to use this with it, but I am going to sew that when it's a little drier. I hate to run my needle through there with that Fabri-Tac. It'll get all gummed up, and ugh, that's a mess. Okay, so this is working. This is working for me. Oh, and I forgot the leaf again. So what could I do? Maybe I only need the leaf. No, he's too big. Up this one. Or, I don't know what I want to do with that. That's why I'm not gluing it down. We'll leave that over there so I can think about it later. Now I have the tree trunk with a branch. This would be cool somewhere. Oh, let's see. We need something like this music paper. Not liking it. I don't like it torn like that. But I could use some of these. Put this somewhere. I don't need them all. And what little piece do we want to add? Look for small miracles each day. That's cute, but I don't like that, how it is going off the one direction. Maybe I'll shift it all over to where it fits down here. I do like that tree trunk and branch. Maybe something. Oh, leaf. Let's try leaf before I get too deep in here. I don't like that. Let me put this tag aside and think about something else, because that one already bothered me once. I hate to cover up certain parts of things, like I love that tree trunk. Hate to cover it up. Then we could put some of these here. Ooh, yeah. Wonder if I have something. Stories. That's fun. Stories. What else? Or stories is cool, but so is plant. I think I put that at the bottom where I cover that straight edge, or I just need to cut that straight all the way around. So, how about this one? Let's see. Now that's fun. There's even a spot that something could be written or stamped on, even a date. And it already says, have a magical day. I sure like this side. I think I'll put it right there. Or, nope, it's not working. Let's do this particular little thing. I don't think I'm going to add anything else. Well, maybe I should do a leaf, because I keep pushing the leaves aside. Now that's cool. Or I could put the leaf up here like this, or over the hummingbird, because it's really not the right time of year for hummingbirds unless you're down south here where everything's migrating through. Maybe I could use a bigger leaf. Or I could just cover stuff enough where you don't see it, and then add the leaf. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Okay, I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac because it's here. Yes, it's a waste of expensive glue, except that I want it to be gone. And I put that right below the stitch line there, so it still looks like it was set up that way all along. And then I can put this right there. Let me see, I had a leaf, a good leaf. Okay, I need something over that. Maybe I could put this up here. That'd work, but I don't like it. I don't want to ink anything either. I have enough stuff inked already, just with the mixed media background type scenario. Could put some music paper up there and cover that. Cover that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. This one might be better because it's almost got that. Yeah, it's got that kind of straight edge to it. Let me see. Let me see. Maybe I'll use my Oohoo. There. Now you don't see the bird and it doesn't look kind of odd, but I would like it'd be a fun leaf. Maybe do it like this, like it's oh yeah, like it's resting in the corner. Let me see where, there it is. I am going to just, you know what? I'm actually going to sew around this real quick. Okay. I think that works nicely, and I can have the leaf kind of leaning as if maybe it fell and it's stuck right there on the corner. I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac on the back of this because the thread's gone through to the back side. It'll stick to that thread, even though the back of this is a cover from a book. It's slick, glossy card, and I'm going to just put it down, and the Fabri-Tac will stick to that thread on the back side. So it should be there forever now, glued down. Yay. Okay, let's see, let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Really getting to the bottom. Guess when I run out of glue, I'll say that's it for today. Okay, let's see, let's see. Oh, I like that. The color of that leaf is just dark enough to help balance out everything. Because when you try to finish a collage and you're sitting there going, do I do this? What should I do? I don't know. And you're hemming and hawing with whatever, and you keep putting it back and forth and back and forth. Usually it means you need to add something dark. And that dark thing, whatever it is, could be a shadow under something. But this is one thing I learned back in the late 1990s from a show on Home and Garden Television. It was a Lynette Jennings show. She was a Canadian interior decorator, and she did all sorts of stuff. I just love to watch her show. And she said one day that you have to, after you go in and you put all the decorative pillows and doodads and everything all over your room, say your living room, and you have your coffee table and your sofa and your love seat and everything. You may even have a nice big fireplace. She says you still have to anchor your space. And you anchor your space just like you do in a vignette when you paint. You go in and you give it a shadow. So this is kind of like my shadow, because we see three-dimensionally. Now, she didn't say this. This is just how I've rationalized it. But we see three-dimensionally, and when you look at something two-dimensional like this, there's not a lot of depth to this. This is dark. It is. But say even this side, this is boring. There's nothing going on there. And maybe it's supposed to be that way. But if you're collaging, you gotta go in and tell your brain, unless you want something neutral. You know, neutral masterboard is just fine. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you want to anchor your space with the shadow. So this dark thing here makes it nice to my eye. And I have an issue with looking at collage sometimes. I'll get a migraine. And I've just learned I got to put the dark on my stuff to kind of balance out all the busyness. And we balance it many times just with gesso. We'll kind of knock everything down with a layer of that. You know, there's all sorts of things you can do. But don't forget to check at the end. If you can't decide what to do, you're probably missing something dark. And dark can include all sorts of colors. This is merely one set. These are pastels. And these are dark reds and purples and green and blue. Now, I don't have both sets, but I go in and buy things like this when I have a rebate card from Ibotta, and these are, for some reason, knocked down in price, and I'll get them because I have all this stuff I'm collecting to do pastel stuff because I want to learn how to do it. Oh, I found a little button. It doesn't work on here, but I did find the little brown button. Anyway, if you watch like Alan Picard, he's the one who really made it hit home with the darks. After I learned you got to anchor your space with the shadow from Lynette Jennings, he was in doing pastel work, and he kept talking about darks. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he pulled out this big tray, and all these colors were in there, and you wouldn't think this red is dark, but it is when you get it in your piece. So just saying, you can watch him. He's a pastel artist. He has lessons on YouTube. And I mean, you can just watch it once or twice and you might be like, oh, I get it. I know what Kelsey's saying. So you could use the Stabilo pencil. I have a whole box in a drawer. I use them every now and then. I haven't been using them lately. You can use that pencil like Lorri-Marie Jenkins taught me to use that for a shadow to put around the edges of things. And you want to think, where's the light coming from? And put the shadow where the light would be cast. Not the light, where the light would cast the shadow. Does that make sense? You put the shadow where the light would cast it. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So that's my little thing on darks. I've watched a lot of people hem and haw, and it's really just that kind of simple. Okay, let me see. Here's the duck. I like him swimming. I don't know about this leaf. I feel like it gets lost. And I have this piece of black fabric, so I really don't need the leaf. I could always put it for a top. Oh, I really like it up there. And I can still put my yo-yo down here. Okay, let's do it. Let's quit yakking and just glue some stuff on. Now, these are not beautiful floral pieces like Martina does. But, you know, she did inspire me to try to do something today. So, I'm very excited about that. And if you haven't watched her channel, she's been on YouTube for a while. And she just makes some of the coolest stuff. It's so beautiful. I always think, I can try. It probably won't look like that. But, you know, I guess it really doesn't matter as long as you're having fun. Okay, that's just enough to hold that down. And then we need a little bit on the yo-yo. Let's see. Yep. Oh, and I haven't done any of this gold stuff. Now, this is one thing Martina uses, is this gold leaf trim. Ooh, I like that. Oh, okay, what I'm going to do see right here, I cut this piece of trim right there next to the leaf. Now I'm going to round it to make that look like the end of a vine. So I'm just going to go in there like that. And then I'll cut it off down here. I'll try to make that as rounded as possible wherever I cut it so I can continue to use those things without having to stop and trim everything perfectly. So, okay, it's like measure twice, cut once. So I just rounded that little bit so I don't have to later. Now, I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay. Now, this is that trick from Artie Mays. Basically, go in and do this. And you run your piece underneath there on the glue, Fabri-Tac, and this is how you get it on little skinny areas quickly. I'm hoping I'm in frame. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'll put this right down there. Ah, that is perfect. Okay. Now I also have those dies for the Tim Holtz, kind of like flowers and things you find in a field, and the ones that almost look like Queen Anne's lace that's gone to seed and turned brown. I love that thing. That would have been really cool on here too, but I'm loving that one. I don't even know if I was in frame. Oh, I need a white. Okay, let's see. That piece looked really cool. Now, where's the gold? Let's see, let's see. I could put a little piece over here. Not real tall, but just enough to make it magical because it says have a magical day. So let me see if I can get this clipped off quickly. Oh yeah, I like that. It's just nice and fun. I think I might try to round this a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, that looks more like the vine is just growing upward. Okay, now I have Fabri-Tac all over me. Nice technique. It just, the problem with the Fabri-Tac is it just sticks to everything. Your skin. So, that's a nice little journaling spot right there. You can put the date or whatever. So now there are two. And if I hadn't put that there, I could put it at the top, but I'll find something for that. You know. So there are two. I move this stuff out of the way. Let me see if I can make one more real quick. I hate to put all this stuff away because my cats will be in here soon. I locked them out and they're acting like I'm doing something horrible. I might go in there and put some art glitter glue up under a couple little paper corners, but you know, you can figure that out on your own. Huh, what about that? Nope, don't like that. Let's see. I had that little tag. Let's see about the little tag. Now, I do like this fuzzy stuff. Okay, that would be fun. Like this, maybe that. I want to sew that though, so I'm going to have to run over and make a stitch. Nice straight stitch across. Ooh, I really like that. Okay, I'll be right back. And I don't know, do I want the, yeah, I need the white on there. Okay. Okay, I did it. There we go. And I can even tuck that up under there a little more. But I put a zigzag stitch right there. Ooh, and that might even be cute right there. Oh yeah. I don't have one behind it, but I can find one later and put one on the other side too. Just glue right up against there. Okay, what am I doing? I am going to glue that down. This is not a micro collage. I'd call this a mini collage, but like I said, Andrea at Artie Mae's, man, she's the master of that. Oh, I guess I better put some glue over here too. Those are fun fibers with that wool from the sheep. Let's see. This is where another tip from Lorri-Marie Jenkins comes in handy. Just sit on it. Put it under your rear end on the chair and just sit on it. I'm afraid, though, that there's some Fabri-Tac oozing out, so I'm not going to do that. But she's always wearing, like, overalls and stuff for doing art in her studio. So, yeah. It's a very good idea. Okay, I need to put some glue on this. I went in whenever I put ties. I used embroidery floss right there. Whenever I tie in the holes, now that doesn't even make sense. When I want it to look like it's sewn on, how's that? I'll go in and just thread that through there with the needle and then tie it off. And then because the back is kind of slick, I'll use the Fabri-Tac to glue the string in place where the little knot doesn't move, and it just looks nicer, I think. But yeah, oh, let's get it straight. And then I'll find another button after I finish here and just add that. I could have inked and stuff. It just, nah. I think this looks good like this. Now, there's another step that Martina does. She'll get her white paint or gesso and she'll splatter her work, and she'll use gold ink or paint. I have some of that. I'm not going to do it right now because I have a big enough mess to clean up, and I'd have to move it all out of the way to start splattering. I don't want to splatter everything right now, but I'll leave this here, although I am thinking I need something at the top. I'll just get a tab. I have some tabs. I'll show you what it looks like real quick with the tab. Now, I've been using a lot of brown, but I do have this black fabric here, so I could use a tab like this. I'd have to ink it because I don't like the white edges, but that would work. And I also know, I saw it the other day. Where is it? Ooh, I like that one a lot. Ooh, that one is got a white edge. I don't like the white edge. I have glue all over my fingers. So, let me see what this does for me. Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah, that's the one right there. And I probably could have put that here, but the button's there now, so we'll live with the button. So let me see. I need to ink this, and then we'll glue it on. It's that easy. I'm not really concerned about it looking perfectly aged with this particular item. I just want to make sure the white doesn't show wherever it folds. So I'm just quickly just dabbing a little bit of ink on here. And I want to do the top just so it kind of looks the same all the way around. But see? That's all I did. In case you're new to Well-Tell tabs. Let's see. I need my glue. Getting it everywhere again. Okay, let's see. I'm thinking this little cluster here needs some gold. Unfortunately, oh, I had that like this. Yeah. Okay. That one's perfect. Whenever you get one of those scrapbooking pads with a one giant image on a page, and it's got a big frilly border like this coppery color, and you're like, what am I going to do with that? It won't fit on inside any junk journal. What am I going to do with that? Well, I just go around and I punch tabs out of that. I'll sit there with gobs of offcuts and things, and I'll just punch tabs. It works. It's awesome. Okay, let me see. What else were we going to do? Oh, maybe some gold. Maybe a little bit of gold. It's kind of late for that. Maybe I could tuck it under there. I need a tiny piece. A tiny piece. And I could put a tiny piece right there, and there would be a tiny bit of gold. Yep, I think that's what it needs. And if I decide I need another piece, I can just clip another little piece off. Okay, let's see. Ooh, that's cool. Maybe I do need another piece. This can go on forever, you know. Okay. Maybe I need it to come downward. Nope, don't like that. Maybe I just need another piece over here. Nope, that looks like two little feet, like little rabbit ears or something. Okay, we won't do that. Maybe I just need this one because that one has one leaf, and maybe two leaves on another thing would look better. Another little vine there. Oh yeah, maybe I don't like this one here at all. Maybe I just need to put this little piece up here and have it. Oh yeah, that's it right there. Kind of cattywampus. I will put Martina's information, a link to her channel, in the description box below the video, and I will also put one to Artie Mae's. Come on, come on. Now I have stuff hanging off everywhere. But I do like that better with some gold. I might need a little piece right up there. Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to have to add something a different direction. I don't like it there. It looks like someone's raising their hand or their paw. But I think I'm going to stop. I'll stop right there and come back and maybe work on the rest of them in another session. That way you can see what all I do. Bye.